Hello everyone, welcome to English with Shalini. In this video, we are going to discuss modern age. Modern age started right after Victorian age. So, with the long reign of Queen Victoria, peace and stability also ended with that, and society became fragmented. People lost faith in God in modern age. People lost connection with nature. They also had a total uncertainties and chaos all around, and people were suffering the blows of World War First, which lasted from 1914 to 1918, then the Second World War, which lasted from 1939 to 1945. Now we will discuss the historical background of the modern age. So modern age was a spirit of interrogation was there. People were questioning. So scientific revolution was going on this age to very much level, and the two world war shook the people's belief in church. People were suffering from uncertainties, and so world war shook the belief in church, religion and God. People of modern age did not believe in anything without proof. They were questioning everything, and they were having the interrogative mind. Now, anxiety and frustration. Modern age was full of anxiety and frustration, and as people lost their faith in God, there was nothing that could keep them hopeful and positive. And modern age was the age of machinery, competitions between industries was there, and this resulted in frustration and anxiety. So people became fragmented, their mind, society became fragmented after the world wars, and sentiments, emotions, and values lost importance in the life of people. And there was a tremendous development in the field of technology, industry, but mind of the people were anxious. They were not feeling happy. After after the effect of the two world war was traumatic, and many people lost their job, and there was a uncertainties and anxieties all around. So, interest in working class, rapid growth of Labour Party in the modern age. There was a new found interest in the working class, and there was a rapid growth of the Labour Party. Poor and the working class people came into prominence, and they became the raw material for realistic dramas and novels. Now, writers were writing upon them what their life is. So now next is Marxism and socialism. So in the age of modern age, many social and economic changes was going on, and money became most important factor in the life of people. So Marxism and socialism became popular. These are the theories which were given to counter the situation of the modern age. And there was a Russian Revolution of 1917, which led to the establishment of a communist government in Russia. Now, five point is interest in psychology. There was a new interest in psychology, and it was especially with the publication of Sigmund Freud's interpretation of dreams in 1900, and this resulted in the deep interest in psychology. When people go through Sigmund Freud's theory, they were taking deep interest in psychology, human psychology, that how human brain works. So now, the Great Depression from 1929 to 1939. So after the World War First, with it affected the global economy. Global economy crashed, banks were closed, stock market crashed, and there was a wholesale unemployment all around. So it was a very depressing situation. So it is called the Great Depression from 1929 to 1939. Now power shifted from Britain to USA. So United States of America participated in the World War, and it emerged as a superpower. And British economy collapsed during this time, and America was considered more important than Britain. colonial wars. So in modern age, colonial wars was going on. The Boer War of the South African War and marks the beginning of the colonial wars against Britain. The Indian National Congress, founded in 1885, it dominated the Indian movement for independence against Britain, and it also got independence. And in the modern age, there was a spread of education. The Education Act of 1870 strengthened in the modern age, and poor people had access to education from elementary school to universities, and voting rights for women. So, 1820 Act, it was an Equal Suffrage Act, gave women a right to vote, and feminism as a movement gained more popularity in this modern age. Now we will discuss the literary features of the modern age. So there was a stream of consciousness. Modern writers were intrigued and very much interested with the functioning of the human mind and consciousness, and that resulted in the stream of consciousness. Novels written by Virginia Woolf, James Joyce was such kind of novels, that is stream of consciousness novel. So now next is quality is free words in poetry and non-linearity in plots. So there was a display of they displayed the fragmented nature of society, since society was itself fragmented. So poetry was free from words, it was a free words, and it was a non-linearity in plot also. Now pessimism. Since people were pessimistic, modern writers saw a decline in human civilization. There were distorted relations between man and man, and human and society, human and nature, and overall the mood was pessimism. So the literature was also having the pessimistic qualities. Now, literary movements in the modern age. So there was a movement called Dadaism. So this movement consisted of artists who rejected logic, reason, and aestheticism of the modern capitalist society. So they expressed nonsense, irrationality, and protest in their works. Now, Imagism. Imagism is a movement in poetry. It was pioneered by Ezra Pound. So you can see Ezra Pound has written just a poem of two lines. Like, see, the apparitions of these faces in the crowd, petals on the wet black bough. This famous poem. And the Imagism describes visual images with a great focus and simple language. Now, Surrealism. Surrealism was a movement in arts and literature, and it focused on the releasing the creative potentials of the unconscious mind. There was a dream like a scene's irrational juxtaposition of the images, and it is a reaction against realism. They were just reacting against realism. So this was also a literary movement, an artistic movement. Now, Cubism. Cubism was an art movement, and it that wanted to show all the possible viewpoints of the person or an object all at once. It was pioneered by Picasso. Picasso, great painter. Now, Expressionism. Expressionism was a movement in poetry and paintings, and it looked at the world from the subjective perspective. Now, each artist had their own way of expressing their emotions in their art. So, the artist tried to convey emotions rather than reality in this art. Now, symbolism. So, a literary and artistic movement. This symbolism is a both literary movement also and artistic movement also. The artists and writers express their individual experience through the subtle use of symbols. Now, war poets. So war was going in this modern age, so there was war poetry and war poets. So Wilfred Owen, Rupert Brooke, Siegfried Sassoon, they wrote anti-war poetry. Although they were writing war poetry, their poetry was anti-war poetry. They were soldiers also, so they were experiencing the first the experience of the war, which was very traumatic and which was destructive. So they were anti-war. Uh, these poets participated in First World War. Now, radio and cinema. Both radio and cinema had great impact on literature of modern age, and it is a very influencing matter. So, this was the modern age. Thank you so much for listening.